so next we're actually gonna make a Dutch crumb pie. We took a can of the apple pie filling, and you can see that 1 can of pie filling kind of just barely fills the pie. And so you can either start another can of filling, or you can go ahead and add some additional toppings. Today we're gonna make a cranberry apple pie. And then an easy topping. This is a yellow cake streusel. It's 5 pounds of the cake mix with 1 pound of butter. And basically you just mix it and so you start to see the little pills come together. You can see the crumbs in the texture. And we're gonna use that as our topping for our Dutch crumb topping. Push it all the way to the edge. And just that easy, we have our first pie. The next pie we're gonna make is a filled 2-layer pie. And that's using the recipe that's in your packet. We took the filling, we mixed it with the spices, and we let it sit for just a minute. You can see it's making its own syrup in the bottom. The flour that's in the recipe is to help this thicken up. If you're using fresh fruit, you might want to also go ahead and use 1 or 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. That'll also help thicken up your fresh pie. Okay, now you can see it looks like this pie is kind of full, but that's because we're gonna make a 2-layer pie, and so we're gonna put another crust on top of it. So the second crust, what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut off the rim. If you use a paring knife, you can actually get the rim in a small piece. You see how we're doing this on a horizontal? This way we're not cutting into our hand. We're sliding it across the rim of the pie tin. We just cut the rim off. So we're gonna use that to actually attach to the top. Now I'm gonna turn this pie tin upside down. If the shell's really sticky, you can put it back in the freezer for just a minute or 2, and that way it'll cleanly release. I'm just gonna run my paring knife just around the edge to loosen it from the sides. And look at how easy that pops off, okay? I'm gonna get another glove on and I'm gonna compress this to the pan. And at this point, my dough is fully thawed. So I'm gonna actually use my hands to shape it into the apples. So it gets a nice rounded top. Look at that. All right, we're gonna put a little egg wash around the rim, and then we're gonna put that crust right back on top. And the egg wash is just equal parts 1 whole egg with 2 ounces of water. And it's okay if this breaks a little bit, it's gonna be tender. We're just gonna kind of lift it up onto the pie. But that egg wash is gonna help it glue right back together. And just like it was meant to be there, we're using our fingers to kind of press it into the egg wash. And ta-da, 2-layer pie. All right, you wanna cut 3 vent holes in your pie. This helps the steam get out so that it gets fully baked on the top and the bottom. If you want to, you can use that same technique to reshape the crust. If you want to get a little more texture in there, just to make sure it's sealed all the way. You don't have to press really firmly. This is just gentle. Gives it a little bit more homemade look. Okay, how easy that is. We're gonna go ahead and put just a little bit of coarse sugar on the top of this. You do not have to egg wash the top. It's purely preference. And a little coarse sugar to go ahead and finish. Let's go ahead and get these in the oven. We're gonna bake off our pies. We're gonna do a lattice pie next. Okay, so for doneness, we're looking for even golden brown all the way around. We're looking for golden brown on the top. You want to make sure there's no softness in your crust. That way you know it's fully baked on the inside just as well. You really can't use a temperature when checking for doneness on pies because it's going to be boiling sugar on the inside from the fruit or even from the custard filling, and so that won't be a good indicator for us. We really have to go based on coloration. If you feel that this is too much browning for you, you can actually, in the last 20 minutes of baking, you can take crumpled up tin foil and put it on the edges to make pie shields. You can buy them, but they're kind of expensive, and then you have to figure out where to store them the rest of the year. But if you really wanted less browning, you can put the tin foil on. I think this is beautiful, golden brown, and delicious.